Make sure you watch until the end to see how you can win free gear and products. Hey, this is PJ with CLK Supplies. And if you work with SFIC locks, small format interchangeable core, then you know that the math for pinning can be a little complicated. And if you don't do it very often, it can be just super intimidating. Now, in previous videos, I've went over understanding the locks, the cores, the keys, and the math, and how to also figure out what the control key bitting is. But if you don't work with the SFIC locks very often, well, the whole thing to try to learn it all and keep it going can be tough. And that's really where the Lab Easy Way SFIC slide chart for A2 systems comes in handy. Let me go ahead and I'll zoom in the camera and I'll show you exactly how it works. Now, before we get started, I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. So this is only going to work with the A2 system, and it's going to work when you have just a control key and a master key, or a control key, a master key, and one change key to fit that lock, okay? And we'll get into it here in just a moment. But before you can use this chart, you need to make sure you have your bitting. So what I did here is I have a couple keys. I have a control key and I have a change key. And what I did is I just took our key gauge right here and I just decoded them all, okay? And then I wrote them down, as you can see right here, the working key and the control key. So if you were to be handed these keys from a customer, right, and they say, hey, we want, here's our control key and then here's the key we need to operate the door. This is when this Easy Way pinning chart comes in really, really handy, all right? Now, especially if you don't do a lot of this work, and the math, like I said, can be super complicated, and you're gonna love how simple this is, all right? So once you have your keys decoded, this is what you're gonna do, okay? I'm just gonna go ahead and set everything else off to the side, slide this up a little bit, so hopefully I can show you everything at once. So what you're gonna do is, you know what, let me zoom this in just a hair more. There we go. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go here and you're going to look at the bitting of your working key, which is a 7, okay? Now, as you can see here, on this side of the chart, it's going to show where it says top master key, okay? So if you're doing a master key with the change key, well, then you want to use your top, the actual master key, not the change key. And I'll get to that in a minute, but that's wherever you see the top change key right here, this is where you're putting the bitting, okay? So in our example here, the first bitting here is a 7, okay? So now this side only shows 0 through 4, so we're gonna flip it over, and as you can see up top here, it says it's 5 through 7. So what we're going to do now is 7's already on here, so 7's in the middle. So what we're going to do is I'm going to, on the side here, these little tabs that you pull it back and forth either way, just like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 7 and we're going to put it where the control key is, which is a number 5. So as you can see, the control key here is fixed. The bitting is fixed. So I'm going to slide this right over right there to the 5, okay? So the 7 for the working key and the 5 for the control key. Now, since we don't have a master, or a change key, I should say, because this is just a 2-key system, we're going to want to look down here where it says change key at that same key bitting, which is a 7. So we're going to go down right here to a number 7, okay? And that right there is going to be the bitting, or excuse me, the pinning chart that you're going to use to pin it up. So what we're going to do underneath it here is I'm going to hold this down a little bit. You're not going to be able to see it. I'll show you here in a second. So the pinning chart is going to be 7, nothing, and then 8, 8. All right, so as you can see that right there, so the 7 is going to be the bottom pin, and these are all going to be tops, okay? Then you're just going to go right to the next one. So the next one is going to be a 9. So we're on the same side still. So we're going to just move this over till we see a 9 up here, which is right there. And then we're going to put the 9 in line with the number 4 control key bitting. Okay, so we're going to slide this all the way down right there to the number 9. just like that, all right? So 4, so the 9's there and the 4 is there. Now, once again, since we don't have any other keys, for the change key, what you see right here is we want to go down to the number 9, which is right there, okay? So then I'm going to write down that bitting underneath it here. So that's going to be a 9, and then nothing, and then a 5, and then a 9, okay? Now we'll go to the next one here, which is a working key, which is a 8, which is already on here, and then the control key is a 5. So we're gonna just slide that over to a 5. Now, once again, we're gonna go to where the 8 is because we don't have any other keys for this. So we're gonna go down here to 8, and we're gonna see that right here. So we're gonna write that down, which is gonna be a 8-7, 8. Now, why the dashes are in there, that's because if this was like a master key system, there's a master key, then there was a change key, and the control, they're gonna be using this other top pin here, okay? So that's why, since that's not there, we don't have to do it. So that's how you're gonna do this. I'll do one more here for you, and then we'll jump on to the master key and change key situation, okay? So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go to the working key, which is a 8, and then the control key, which is a 2. So we're gonna slide that where it says top master key, that's the bitting of the working key, and then the control key bitting right here, which is a 2. Put that in line. We're gonna go right down to the working key bitting, which is a 8. Down here where it says change key, and then we're gonna put that bitting right there underneath it, which is gonna be an 8-4, and then a 11. Okay, so once you finish all these and you go through all of them, you now have your pinning chart. So you're just gonna pin up this lock, and then these keys are going to work. It's really cool, isn't it? It's really simple. Now, I know when you look at this chart, okay, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on here. You start reading it, and you know, it can be kind of complicated, but it's actually super, super simple. Now, let's just pretend, okay, let me put up here a master key. Now let me show you how to use this chart using the same working and control key, but we're gonna add a master key bitting in here. All right, now what I did is on the first depth here, I just put a 9, so you can see what it's gonna look like differently, but we could easily, you know, put in here, put another, let's see here, I don't know, 7, something off the top of my head. But is what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna show you how to do this. So what we're gonna do here is, since we have a master key and a working key or a change key, okay, let's just change this language up here to make sure, make it easier. Okay, so that's a change key, also known just as a working key. But what we're gonna do here is we're going to go to the master key chart, and we're gonna put a 9 up here now, okay? Not the change key bitting, we're gonna put the master key. So that's the difference. So when there's no master key, okay, when this is gone and there's just these 2 here, then you're gonna wanna use the change key or the working key bitting. But when there is the master, that's the top master key bitting that we're gonna wanna put in here. So in this case, it's a 9, okay? So let's find the 9 on the slide chart. And then we're gonna figure out the control key bitting is a 5. So we're gonna take the 9 and we're gonna put it right up here where the control key bitting is to a 5, all right? Now this is where it's different. Now without this master key, right, we're going to the same bitting number, which was, you know, would be a 7 if we would put a 7 there, but would be a 9, right? And so you'd go to a 9. But that's not the case with this, because there's a change key. There's a working key on here. So now that we have the top key bitting 9 lined up with the control key bitting 5 right there, we're now gonna go down to the change key bitting, which is a 7. So as you can see right here, we're gonna go to the 7 bitting, and then we're gonna write that down, okay? So I'm gonna write it down here, which is let me put a line. That's gonna be a 7, 2, 6, 8. Okay, so that's the difference. That's the difference, and it's really that simple. So what you're gonna wanna do is, once you have your keys decoded using like a key gauge, like our 8-in-1 gauge right here, okay, you're gonna wanna write the bitting down, and then you're gonna wanna pull out the slide chart, and you're gonna wanna make sure you're following the rules, whether or not you have a master key and a change key and a control, or just a change key or a working key and a control. So once you have that figured out, you're gonna use this slide chart, and you're gonna make quick work of the math. This lab pinning chart sure makes that math super simple when you just need to do a quick rekey or master key. I'd love to know your thoughts below. Have you used this before? What do you think about it? Please let me know. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Hey, this is PJ with CLK Supplies. Level and where you at are, it's a good one. Hey, this is PJ. Oh. Here we go. And we'll see you next time. Boom. Boom. Since you just watched this video, I'm guessing that you work with locks and keys. And to us at CLK Supplies, that makes you a lock boss. And we want to hook you up. Here's how it works. Throughout the week, join the conversation and comment on our posts and videos and include the hashtag LockBoss. It's free to enter this giveaway. And every Tuesday, we're gonna pick 5 winners from the previous week and hook you up with all sorts of prizes, including gear, tools, supplies. We might even send you a key machine or buy you lunch. So if you're a lock boss, join us every week to learn, grow, and win.